And I'm Justin.
And together, we are Pajamas. And we're on Season 5, Episode 8 of Doctor Who. Over halfway. We literally just recorded the Journey with Matt Smith through Season 5 video thing. And I said in that video that I am very much looking forward to getting into Episode 8. I feel like just this incredible weight has been lifted off of me. Just let's go. I'm really anxious to see the season now through a clearer lens than I had before. We left off with the Dream Lord. That was very interesting. So, not sure where we go from here. But we still have Amy and the Doctor and Rory. So, yeah. It's been a couple weeks since we've been able to watch Doctor Who, but we're here. And we're going to watch some Doctor Who, damn it. So, Academia, are you ready?
Oui, mon cher.
All right. Let's go. I'm excited. Without further ado, let's get into it.
21 kilometers, folks. Further than anyone's ever drilled into the earth. Have a great weekend.
The Return of Satan.
Further do
No.
you think we can go, Matt?
21k.
Man hug.
Grab all the glory before I come on shift. Right, off
Regular
you go.
hug.
Get out.
Mad. Don't touch it. Don't put your hand in it.
See, that's why you shouldn't put your hand into mysterious holes.
Yeah, that's the lesson we've learned so far.
Especially if there's a gas emitting from it.
Why are those people waving at us?
Can't be.
It's you two.
We're still together in 10 years.
No need to sound so surprised. What are you doing with that?
Engagement ring. I thought you liked me wearing it.
Amy, you could lose it.
Where's your uniform? Plain clothes. Anyway, it's over here.
Have you always been this disgusting?
No, that's recent. What's in?
Who are you? What are you doing here? And what are you wearing?
I dressed for Rio.
Ministry of Drills Earth.
Oh. Oh.
What is under the earth? I don't want to suffocate under there. Tell Rory.
There's only one explanation as far as I can see.
What's that then?
The Great Sea people. When you've eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
Sorry?
Sherlock Holmes.
Jungle planets.
You're not making any sense, man.
Excuse me, I'm making perfect sense. You're just not keeping up.
Yeah.
Those trace minerals weren't X marking the spot saying dig here. They were a warning. Stay away. Because while you've been drilling down...
Energy signal originating from under the earth. We're trapped.
Where's Amy? Why didn't you stop it?
I promise, I tried.
Well, you should have tried harder.
Come on, please. I need you alongside me.
I can't do the words, I'm dyslexic.
Oh, that's all right. I can't make a decent meringue. True like your life depends on it, Elliot.
Well, you said we're supposed to be defending ourselves.
You're better than this. I'm asking nicely. Put them away. Look at that! Perfect! Dyslexia never stopped Da Vinci or Einstein. It's not something new.
Nice.
I don't understand what you're going to do. Did you get away?
Yeah,
Do you ever miss it?
so much.
Have you met monsters before?
Yeah?
You scared of them?
No, they're scared of me.
Stick in the woods, Warps.
Anytime you want to help,
Can't you sonic it?
it doesn't do wood.
That is rubbish.
I don't diss the Sonic.
Who counted him back in? Who saw him last?
I did.
Where is he?
He said he was going to get headphones.
He was out there on his own. Elliot! Where is he?
Cold blood. I know who they are. We got it! Now, both sides have hostages.
Oh, I would not like that at
You're
all.
alive in here! Did you just shush me?
Oh,
Don't do that, no gas.
where do I get some of that?
You are beautiful.
I'm the last of my species.
You're really not, because I'm the last of my species, and I know how it sits in a heart. So don't insult me. The drill.
Our sensors detected a threat to our life support systems. I'll gladly die for my cause. What will you sacrifice for yours?
You're gonna negotiate with these aliens.
They're not aliens. They're Earth-lians. From their point of view, you're the invaders. Your drill was threatening their settlement.
Shouldn't we be examining this creature, dissecting it?
You are decent, brilliant people. Nobody dies today.
You want me to stand back while you head down into it? I don't think so.
I don't have time to argue.
I thought we were in a rush.
It'll be dangerous.
Yes, that's crossing the road. Isn't this what it does?
I'm not doing anything! We've been hijacked, I can't stop it!
I know which one of you will kill me. Do you?
It's like this is every day to you.
Not every day.
Every other day.
Dissected me.
Housing around a dozen Homo reptilia. Ah. Maybe more than a dozen.
This was a very interesting episode.
Yeah, it was. So these mining people are drilling into the earth.
For some reason.
Yeah, because we can. Big numbers. And we as humans, we awaken some kind of beings that live below the earth.
Yes. And they so happened to be beings that were here first.
I like that idea. This like Homo reptilian race versus this Homo sapien race.
Yes, especially since it's like an invasion but in reverse.
Yeah, yeah. I guess it's similar in the way that like most invasions come from above.
Mm-hmm.
So did we. We invaded them from above to them. But we're drilling. Yeah, it's really cool. It's really neat.
I can easily see it from the reptilian side that yes, this is cause for alarm.
Well, it's an act of aggression,
Yes.
yeah.
So of course they're doing this. Why wouldn't they? Humans would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's a question of security.
Yeah, because we were like drilling into their like life support system. So
Yes.
we take that out and then they're all dead. So of course you're gonna fight back, and
It's a question of survival.
yeah, so they send their warriors to the surface to see what's going on. And they kidnap Elliot, Amy, Elliot, and Ambrose's dad and husband, respectively. Now I'm sitting here wondering, how's the doctor gonna get out of this one? It's not a dozen reptilians, it's a freaking like colony.
He's basically going to have to try to basically be like some sort of UN, but has only one doctor to try and stop an entire war happening.
Yeah. Solo UN. But then the reptilian above says that she knows apes and she knows which one of them is going to kill her. While at the same time, the older gentleman has been poisoned. He's been hit with a poison gland. That takes 24 hours to recharge. But it is spreading. That's something I would have been like, hey, doctor, this happened to me. Help. If you can't help me, just let me know how much time I have.
I would have at least liked to have, well, if she's in the mood to talk, what does this mean and
Yeah, exactly.
where do
yeah.
I go from here?
Yeah. Or at least, like I was saying, at least show the doctor.
Yes.
Because he's familiar with maybe not this particular branch, but he's familiar with the species. He knew the poison gland took 24 hours to recharge, so he's going to know, he knows what it is, so he should know what it does. I know we can always do that. We can always be like, well, I would have done this in the show. But, yeah, I would have been like, hey, what's this? This is scary. It's green. It's
usually not a good thing,
Yeah.
at least from a human point of view.
Yeah. If you have green things growing on your body in some way, maybe it's time to ask for help.
I would think so.
Yeah. Especially when they look like veins or like plants, like the vines of plants. Like just like growing on you and much how like the last episode was very much like an interesting psychological study into like the Doctor and the Time Lord and relationships. There's not much here to really sink our teeth into as far as that goes, because it's very, as we said, this thing happened, we drilled, they feel attacked, they're attacking us back. Now obviously part 2 is going to be about the tension, then the big thing, and then the resolution. So I did like that this was very much the emotional resonance of humans versus the rationale of the Doctor. Like when Rory was with Elliot and Ambrose, and then the Doctor was with Amy and then the other people, and then Amy got taken by the Earth.
Yes, almost as if the Earth ate her.
Yeah. So Rory's coming back, and he's like, where's Amy?
The Earth ate her.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's like, what would you do? Or not, all this stuff. I reference it more specifically in my notes. But then later on, Ambrose is like, where's my son? Who was the last person to see him? And the Doctor's kind of saying, he's just, uh-oh, oh no.
Lady, this doctor cannot be held responsible for your lack of parenting skills. You should have been watching over him much more.
Ooh, there you go. There you go. But then he says, I was, and then she's getting all mad, because of course, but much like Rory, of course, someone you care about, someone you love, has been taken by the Earth. So you're going to be upset. But in both instances, the Doctor was just like, trust me. Please trust me. So I just like that it was like the Doctor handling these very understandably emotional moments from Rory and Ambrose, respectively. But it was cool just to see him be like, I know I said I wouldn't talk about Tennant anymore. I just could see Tennant in these instances being like, I promise you, I will get them back. Just being very like, but not Matt Smith. He's just like, just trust me. Just trust me. I'll get just he's very matter of fact. He feels bad. He's not overly emotive. He realized that he was the last person to see Elliot, and he kind of realized that letting a child go out into this was a mistake. He wasn't like overly expository with apologies. He was just like, that was bad. Shouldn't have done that. Let's fix it. And I like that. I do. It's refreshing. I know I said in my little mid-season thing that I was going to try not to do that anymore. If I didn't say that, I meant to. But here it applies. It's a moment here where I could see Tennant handling this situation differently, because Tennant tried to relate to people on that emotional level. Matt Smith doesn't. He doesn't engage on that emotional level. He just handles things just diplomatically. And he tries to solve the problem. His whole thing is like, let me solve the problem. I will solve this. I will solve it. And he will. But now it's just the road to how does he solve this? He sees that, there is cause for concern. He sympathizes, but also empathizes where he can. I thought that the 10th Doctor was a little too much into that, to the point that he was governed by his emotions too much, I thought. This Doctor isn't, which is something I'm glad that I actually see now and can appreciate. The one time that he did have empathy in this episode is when the reptilian who came to the surface said, I'm the last of my species. And the Doctor says, no, I know what that's like. I'm the last of my species. And I know how it sits on the heart. So
stop insulting him and actually start telling the truth.
Exactly. But with Elliot and Amy being taken, even with Amy, he was more urgency there because he has a connection with Amy. It'd be like let's say you were the doctor and someone you just met was swallowed by the earth, but then I was being swallowed by the earth. Yeah, see, the reactions would be two different things because there's a connection. There's not a connection. Like you'd want to help them. You know, that's bad. I want, you don't want to see someone else suffer, get swallowed by the earth. But, someone you care about or someone that you promised to protect and, all this stuff. And we have to keep in mind that on some level, this is still the doctor that made the promise to Amelia. So he's still trying to keep that promise of wonder and adventure to that little girl. So I'm not saying he sees her as a little girl, because he doesn't, but maybe part of him has that tucked away in the back of his mind. So if he fails at his promise, not only is he failing Amy, he's failing Amelia too. So I think there's that extra urgency there. I like that the relationships are very deliberate. It doesn't feel like broad paintbrush strokes like it did for 3 seasons. It feels, very, okay, these beats are here on purpose. Of course, the doctor's not going to get overly emotive. He's not going to go comfort the mom. I'll get your son back, I promise. But he is going to get overly emotive when it comes to Amy. So I like that the beats make sense because they fit in with the portrayal of this doctor. Because it was nice to just start this episode and be like, clean slate, open arms, let's do it. I was like, whatever comes, I'm ready for it. And this was a cool episode to see that because I could see the relationships where they were. I wasn't clouded. I could see just the different back and forths and how each one was on a different level, what they meant. And it's cool to be able to see the clarity of the relationship between the doctor and Amy, the doctor and Rory and Amy. It's nice. I do wonder what the significance the engagement ring being on that spot in the TARDIS is going to play into. I think it's going to seem kind of foreshadowing.
It seemed very deliberate that there was this special place that it could fit snugly into.
Yeah. Maybe they're going to get married on the TARDIS. So yeah, just a very, cut and dry story. Not a lot to like the story itself is very, ABC. I like underneath it, like under the earth. There's more, there's that subtext of relationships and, the different tethers and whatnot. And not just from the doctor, like, the lady who went down with the doctor and then the guy who's all poisoned, there's a relationship there. Then they have a relationship with Ambrose and Elliot's, husband/father. So it's all these like things, and I like it.
I really like the relationship between the doctor and the lady because it seems like that's definitely what a companion would be like. Someone who's there for the adventure and wants to investigate with him, wants to see all of these things, like what the doctor told Amy what he can do. This sense of wonder and adventure.
I do believe that's what Amy has been.
Yes.
Looking back in hindsight now.
Though I do highly suspect that, yes, this is simply a side character that's getting some special treatment, but yes, this is definitely something like a doctor-companion relationship.
Yeah.
Condensed into, well, since it's a 2-part story, 2 episodes.
Right. So yeah, not as a deep dive as the last one, but that's fine. This is just a, as you said, a reverse invasion story.
And so in that sense, yes, it is very profound.
Yeah.
Who's invading whom?
Well, no, there's profundity there, just not in the same way. The last one was profound on like we can deep dive into this and wow, what does this mean? And all these different ideas. And there's not that much of it here, but the surface idea itself in this story is still profound, as you said. Who's invading who? Who's...
Yes, whereas one was more metaphysical, this one is more ethical or political.
Yes, yeah.
Cross-species politics.
Yeah.
Which, well, is something that would have to be considered if there are other beings out there. Why are they not here? Well, maybe because, 1, this place is a dump, and 2, even if it weren't, well, immediately what that man said. Should we be dissecting? This place seems like a very dangerous place to go to.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it would seem much more appropriate to probably have these undetectable satellites to simply survey instead. It sounds much more safe and actually less intrusive than an all-out physical investigation.
Yeah.
Of actually diving in, not knowing what anyone's getting into.
Yeah. Power words. Speaking of, would you like to go to the notes?
Yes.
All right.
Philip's notes.
So we arrive in South Wales. I love the Welsh language, but holy crap. How can words with like 75 consonants and 2 vowels? I love y'all. I think your language is awesome. But like we should do a video one day where like we just look at Welsh words and try to pronounce them. So I could just completely roast myself on my stupid American brain and mouth. Because we're in South Wales, which looked beautiful. Like I was like, oh, remember we talked about like living in a like cobble little place. I was like, oh, that's what the backyard would open up into, and we're stuck in America and flat, boring Midwest America.
They were ready for an exciting getaway to lively Rio, and they arrive in a graveyard in cold Wales.
I would have been happy.
Yes.
I'd have been like, hell yeah.
Though I think that you have probably wanted to be dressed in much more than what she was dressed in.
I don't think I'd be wearing what she was wearing in the first place. I'd probably be wearing what Rory was wearing.
That is true.
Like, minus the puffy thing. I wouldn't wear it. I'd be wearing a hoodie. And then we see that they're drilling into the earth, as we said. And I wrote, drilling into the earth never leads to anything good.
I was still waiting for them to explain exactly what... Well, yes, you've achieved this goal, and now what is this a means of? Now that you've reached this point, now you can... What? It never says.
Well, I joked during the episode, I was like, are we getting the return of Satan? Because this seemed like the return of Satan. Well, I would be all about that, believe it or not. The return of Satan in season 5 with more of a budget and different writers. So no marker face. I would not be opposed to it. I like what we got. What we got is totally fine. It's a lot more interesting, like you said, from like that socio-political point of view. But at first, I was like, huh. Then we see that hole in the floor, steam rising up. To all my horror nerds out there, did it remind you of Amityville 3? Because it reminded me of Amityville 3.
One would think that he would know better because, well, that could have been toxic. How does he know what's being emitted from the ground?
Yes, you're right. It could have been. Very silly of the mining guy, which I'm sure that's not his official title. Like, I'm Mo the mining guy. Mining guy. What are you going to college for? Mining guy.
I see.
There you go. But they arrive. Parts of it are bluegrass, which I hate Kentucky. Then we see Dr. Amy. Rory splits off because he goes puts the engagement ring back. Then the mother and son think that he's someone to look at the graves or something. Dear patrons, I'm sorry for my notes. They're messier than usual because I was trying to write fast and furious while also trying to be absorbed in the episode. So even I'm just like, what did I write here? What? Elliot very intelligently deduces that the Earth is eating people. So I like the way they wrote Elliot. I like when they don't write child characters as stupid. Because children are not stupid. And I hate when they're portrayed as such.
It's ageism.
Yeah, like people have gotten mad at me before. You know when you see a baby and people are like, "Oh, you want your baba? You want your baba? Oh, you want your baba?" I don't talk to any. I'm like, you want your bottle? You want your bottle? No, you have to talk to please baby talk. Just like with children. I don't condescend children. It's basically what I'm not gonna go down a rabbit hole on this one. Just children are people. They're developing, confused, scared little people. Just talk to them like they're people. And be nice to them. It's scary.
It's as if they're implying, oh no, you cannot speak this way. It's that way that you need to speak. Or maybe that would make sense if this person's speaking English, but this person knows French, but that's not the situation.
Might as well be French. Then we have the whole scene where Amy's getting, sucked in by the earth. Really good acting by her in this particular scene. When she says, I don't want to suffocate. And I'm like, yeah, she looked terrified. She had tears in her eyes. I'm like, I would be flipping the fuck out. Yes. That's when I realized, this is the promise he made to a little girl. I will save you. I will help you. And then she goes away, and he's just like, ah.
It's as if she's been buried alive. Yes, it's a very horrific experience.
Then we find out that the Earth was bioprogrammed to attack. Like, that is a cool freaking idea. That's a really cool idea. I like that a lot. And then the doctor asks them, why did you dig here? And they're like, well, there's grass here. All these minerals that, are supposed to be here. And the doctor tells him, this wasn't X marks the spot. There were warnings to stay away. And I like that. Like that idea that humanity is so entitled and so arrogant that we're like, ooh, these are signs we must do this here. And maybe they're not. Maybe it's keep out. No trespassing.
The reptilian people said that they know about these ape beings. Wouldn't they have known that they have an immense amount of curiosity that would drive them here? Maybe they should have made this area as dull and boring and common as possible instead.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I would think they just know of, but not about, would be my guesstimation. Then we find out, while they were digging down, something else is digging up. Also really cool like that. Then it's stated that whatever bioprogrammed the Earth was coming up now. And here I'm like, okay. It's that whole like unknown is coming, what is it? Thing. Because then we see Elliot coming back from getting his headphones, and these shadowy things are, going around the graveyard and whatnot. It's all scary. Earlier, I referenced that the doctor had these moments where it was his like stoicism and rationale versus humans' emotional, and kind of panicky. Mm-hmm. But like I said, for valid reasons, 100% valid reasons. Rory is mad. Whereas Amy, what happened? Why didn't you help her? Why didn't you save her? And he says to him, he's like, come on, please. I need you alongside me. And I really like that. He's like, I will fix this. I need you. Because if Rory's panicked, it won't help. As we know, we saw in the one with the creature that mimicked the doctor, the 10th Doctor, panic spreads. Mm-hmm. Panic is unpredictable.
It's how mass hysteria works.
Exactly. So if Rory's being hysterical, being upset, being disagreeable, that's going to spread. He doesn't understand it yet at that time. He needs everyone to be on the same page so he can deduce things in a way that is efficient and works. And then I like that part where Ambrose has all the weapons and whatnot. He says, you're better than this, Ambrose. I'm asking nicely. Put them away. And we both were kind of like, all right, during the episode. Love the line. Dyslexia never stopped Da Vinci or Einstein.
That is true.
I thought that was a really cool line that they didn't treat his learning disability or whatever like a learning disability. He was like, well, you know what? Do it to the best of your ability. He gave him confidence that, you know what, just because this thing is hindering you doesn't mean it has to be a hindrance. Do the best you can. And he did. I thought it was sweet. Love the callback. We both reacted to it. The church door is closed and Rory says, can't you Sonic it? It's wood. I was like, awesome callback to the doctor and Donna in the library. She's like, oh, it doesn't do wood. Miss Donna.
Well, it does show that there's continuity.
Yes. When I say Miss Donna, I can say that now, but not like I don't mean it in a lamenting way, like, oh, I miss Donna. I do miss Donna. But I'm also not like stuck. I'm not. That's what's nice. Like this, like people, like this whole Earth, or not. It's not like quicksand or anything, but like the Earth and everything. It's like I was mired in the muck for so long, and I pulled myself out. It's nice.
And like quicksand, the more that you struggle, the more that you get stuck. Simply let everything take its course, and then you'll be able to simply slip out.
That's not what happened. I fought the entire way until I saw that the thing that was entangling me was David Tennant. And I just chop. Kind of amusing, just for a split second. The power goes out. Everyone's like panicked and like afraid. And for a split second, the doctor looks excited. He's like, I like those little things. Just like He's like, oh, this is new. What's this? I enjoy that. And the doctor says, once they have, I forget her name now, Alea, maybe? Alea. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, you have a good memory.
Thank you. So when Alea is captured and the doctor's talking to her and all that, he tells everyone else, now we both have hostages. And I'm like, do you though? Because Alea seems kind of like I sure already said one is going to kill me and I know which one it is. So she's not afraid to die. Whereas on the other hand,
does show it's very interesting. She knows enough about combat that she can simply look at them to know which one of them would have the nerve to kill.
Then Amy wakes up. She's in like this glass thing. Like, oh my God. I would have had a panic attack.
Yes.
I'm claustrophobic. I would have, no. I would hyperventilate. I probably would have passed out myself. But also, where can I find that sleepy gas? Because that would be wonderful.
Yes, it gets the job done well, and it doesn't seem to have any negative side effects.
Yeah. So if you have trouble sleeping like you do sometimes, or if you're in chronic pain like I am and have to like wait to be so tired that you can outsleep the pain, that would be wonderful.
Maybe someday there will be an over-the-counter anesthesia.
Maybe. Then Nazreen and the doctor go to the TARDIS.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably going to take the TARDIS down there, but then they get TARDIS is going by itself. Find out that the TARDIS is hijacked. Something is pulling it down. It's like, oh, here we go. And then Amy wakes up. She's like strapped to this thing. The guy that was taken in the beginning is down there. He's apparently been dissected.
Something that the human man actually suggested that they do with their
That's what I thought was interesting. That's what I was actually going to get to. Was that, they were talking about dissecting and studying this specimen. But, it's like, no, we're better than this. We need to. But then universally down there, that's what they're doing. They're dissecting and studying and, I'm assuming they're studying. I don't know why we don't know their motivation right now. But from what we see, they're doing the very thing that...
Which does, in a way, make sense. Know as much about your enemy as much as you can.
True. So then, last moments of Amy are one of the creatures coming towards her with a knife to cut her open. So let's hope that doesn't happen. And that is all for my notes. Everything else are for my patrons over on Patreon. So it'll be very intriguing, as I said, to see how this is dealt with in part 2, how the resolution is reached, because right now they don't seem like a species that is open to communication like that. But again, like you said, they're on the attack.
Yes.
They're the aggressors because they were attacked first in their minds.
From their point of view, they're actually taking the defense and then from that taking an offense to push them back out.
Exactly, yeah. So it'll be interesting how we get them from defensive to where do we find the common ground? Ground. But like where how do we get there? Because right now it's like they're dissecting people and Leia's on the surface like, hey, I'm gonna die. You're screwed. So yeah, that'll be very intriguing to see how this is resolved. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, is there anything else you'd like to add about this episode? Alrighty. Well, it's going to wrap this one up. As always, I don't have a fancy outro. So simply say thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.